before John Turley-Ewart talks about governance and money, I'm going to talk about money because we need your donations to stay on the air because that guy needs some money. We all need money, but we need analysis that's independent. So please donate. As I said, John Turley-Ewart has been on the show before. He talks about banking. He talks about responsibility. He's recently written a column for the Globe Mail talking about, I'll put it this way, deep state, that the bureaucrats are running us. Give me your thesis.
Well, my argument is sort of taking off from Doge in the United States, where they're cutting bureaucrats and so forth, and saying bureaucrats are taking on too much power there.
Yes.
In Canada, I argue it's a little bit different. What the difference is that our political ministers, our cabinet ministers, have been ceding authority over the years to their bureaucrats. And where you find evidence of this, for example, is in Treasury Board, which is supposed to be the place where our top cabinet ministers make decisions.
Yep.
In the 1980s, they made about 6,000 decisions a year. Now they make about 900. That's one way to measure it.
The bureaucrats are making the other decisions.
Well, this is it.
Yeah.
And another way to measure it is you look at the growing public relations machine in every bureaucratic department. So you have your bureaucrats in front of the media, you have your bureaucrats in front of Parliament, and the ministers are nowhere to be found.
Well, part of that, though, is that we have ministers who really should not be ministers. They are there because they are male or female or from some geography place, and you know as well as I do, I've seen them, they have no idea what to do. Well, so let the bureaucrats make all the decisions.
But as a Canadian who elects people, I expect my ministers to know what to do.
And which is why you're on the show today, because you know what, I mean, people are going to say, I told you so, deep state. We are being run by bureaucrats.
And more that's the case in Canada. And this is why we, in order to fix our bureaucratic system, we first have to fix our democratic system. We have to have ministers who are accountable, which means they hold their bureaucrats to account. And when their departments fail, they're the ones who speak to the media, they're the ones who answer to Parliament, and they're the ones who resign if there's a big problem.
When that hasn't happened for years, because some people will say that we no longer have cabinet government in Ottawa, that we have government by the Prime Minister's office, and that there's not a cabinet minister who would ever do anything that is not sanctioned by the Principal Secretary to the Prime Minister.
Agreed. And this is one of the great problems. We have the centralization in the Prime Minister's office. And if you want to see a parallel, Trump's trying to do that right now with all his executive orders. We've already got that, which comes through the Prime Minister's office. But it's a problem for Canada because we can't have that kind of democratic situation where we elect a king every 3, 4, or 5 years, depending on when the king wants to go back to the people. And we're deferring to bureaucrats who are unelected to make the rules and regulations that our businesses are run by, that we as citizens are taxed by. That's got to change.
Well, it has to change, but as Trudeau said about stopping Parliament, he said, I've got all the tools I need. And he does.
This is time to change.
Much. 3 minutes. Time for an election. 3 minutes. To those of you who have subscribed and donated, a heartfelt thank you. You're keeping us on the air. If you're watching and you haven't, please try to do so, because 4 years ago, we started this show because there needed to be independent analysis. Now more than ever, with the Online Harms Act. Once that gets into law, it's been passed once by the House, there are going to be hundreds of bureaucrats censoring the news in Canada, censoring this show. We need to keep it on the air. Thanks for your support.